Tom Harwood has been poring over the detail from the Court of Appeal. It's refused to grant the injunction that was demanded on the flight to Rwanda. Tom, do I call that right?
You did indeed. This is, of course, one of several legal actions that are taking place today. This is about the actual flight itself, whether the plane can take off tomorrow. And the court has decreed that it can. This plane can fly. That's
but it may be
a political victory for the government. But as you rightly hint there are lots of individual legal cases with regard to those who are on the plane. So the plane itself will go. The question is, will anyone be aboard it? That's the next hurdle for the government. And there is suggestion that it could be single-digit numbers of people on that plane. Obviously, one by one, these challenges will be fought out. But certainly in this first pretty momentous decision, the actual fact that the plane can fly, that's a victory for the government.
Yeah, I mean, you just wonder where this ends. And I'm looking at that list of, I think we're down to 11. But this started at 130, Tom, by, over the weekend, 37, down to 11, 4 Iranians, 2 Iraqis, 2 Albanians, 1 Syrian, 2, we don't know where they're from. Are these teething problems, do you think? Is this something the courts will work out and the government will work out how to deal with the courts? Or is this just the new normal?
Well, it has been the normal for quite some time. There are deportation flights that go off to other countries for foreign nationals who commit crimes within the United Kingdom. And
they're often half empty.
Very often they're half empty. Very often they're stopped from flying sort of hours before they're meant to take off. People taken off those flights by last-ditch attempts. And so to some extent, this is already the normal that the government's been grappling with for a very long time. This doesn't suggest that the government has learnt how to deal with these challenges particularly well. However, changes to how the legal system is run are being planned by the government. This is more of a long-term idea. What Suella Braverman, the Attorney General, has been looking at and indeed is working towards maybe a fix for this in the longer term. But I think there are two elements of what this means. Number one, it is a political victory for the government that the plane will actually take off. Number two, there is still the question as to whether or not those individual people will be aboard it. That is still a political and legal challenge for the government, and it will really go down to the wire tomorrow.
OK.